Hi everyone, and welcome back to Story Talks with Susan and Julianne. Hi Julianne, we've got a question for you from Joe.
Hi Julianne, your book is set in Brunswick and features a mysterious character called the Brunswick Bomber. What kind of bombing do they do?
Don't freak out. They don't blow things up. They do yarn bombing, which is when people crochet or knit and put it over something. So they might crochet around a tree or crochet over bike racks. So it can be done to show something they love, like wrapping a blanket around something that you love, or it can be done to show something that you want to draw attention to that you don't think is so good. So like a statue to someone who wasn't a very good person. You can use colors that are political. So there's lots of messages in yarn bombing, but it doesn't blow anything up.
Okay. Ooh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So in your book, Julianne, an evil mayor and a character called Lord Landlord wants to knock down Hummingbird House to build apartments. Can you tell us why it's important to show Hattie taking a stand against Hummingbird House's destruction?
Yeah, so I wanted to write a story that showed kids that they can be empowered to change the world. So Hattie starts out very disempowered because her parents have made a really big life-changing decision that she had no part in that has changed her life. They split up. And I think kids can often feel like they've got no power in things because it's grown-ups that are controlling the world. And so by protesting about Hummingbird House and making an effort to change something that's important to her and important to her community, Hattie learns to deal with her other feelings as well. She learns to feel confident and strong and be able to speak out. And so there's nothing worse than when you feel disempowered and you don't do anything. So Hattie learns that she's got to do something. So she learns about petition writing, about peaceful protest, about writing letters, about spreading the word, just things that you can do to bring attention to things and change things, even when you're a kid.
That was a great message in the book. Something else I really enjoyed about the book was the mysterious family, Hypatia's family, who built Hummingbird House. They came from Lebanon to Australia during the gold rush. What was exciting for you writing about Hypatia's Lebanese roots?
Well, the book's very contemporary, so it's really set now and where I live now, which is Brunswick. And I've lived in Brunswick for decades. And one thing that is all around me is Lebanese culture. It's in the food. When you walk up Sydney Road and you can smell all that icing sugar on all the biscuits. And I've often had beautiful neighbours who have been Lebanese. It's in the churches around me. So I really wanted to represent multicultural Melbourne, Brunswick right now. And then when I was doing research into the old house on the corner and in what Melbourne would be like in the 19th century, I did some research at State Library Victoria, and I discovered that Melbourne was once the richest city in the whole world, and the gold rush drew people from all over the world to Victoria to seek their fortune. And I saw a picture of a man from Syria, which is what Lebanon was in the 1800s, and he was sitting in front of his shop in the city of Melbourne, and he had all these exotic wares, and he was sitting proudly out the front with his big moustache, and he was very wealthy and had this beautiful shop. And I thought, there's the family. There's the man that came and started this family that I'm writing about. And so from then, when I was researching about it, I saw that there's been Lebanese people coming to Victoria, or Middle Eastern people from that area before Lebanon even existed as Lebanon. People have been coming from there for hundreds of years. And that's why the culture of Lebanese influence in our city is so deep and so strong. And I just really think that that's a beautiful thing to show that that's all around us and such a wonderful thing.
It was very beautiful to read about that in your book. Let's for a moment take it back to craftivism. And for anyone who's interested, I love the yarn bombing detail on the spine of your book. That gives me an idea for a bit of an activity. to do with kindivism. Do you like that? It's like kindness bombing, kindivism. Have you seen any kind of interesting kindness bombing or kindivist activities going on in your local area lately, Julianne?
I have actually. I've seen some beautiful little fairy gardens where people set up beautiful little gardens, and people who have been doing beautiful drawings with chalk on the footpath for everybody walking around, rainbows and unicorns and beautiful messages in chalk. So it's impermanent. It's not graffiti. It's not there forever, but it's sending a beautiful message to everyone who walks past.
I think that's a really lovely activity for this time in our history. Maybe do a bit of kindness bombing. I think, haven't you discovered something interesting in a library once inside the books?
I have. It's called Kindness Bombing Your Library. So you write a beautiful, kind message, and then you slip it into the books on the library shelf. So whoever borrows that book, they'll be reading it, and suddenly they discover a beautiful message.
I think that's really lovely because you don't necessarily get to see it happen in front of you. You just have to know that sometime down the track, someone will come across your little message and it will make them feel great. I think there's been some kindness bombing going on around our place too. There were some people who lined the footpath with flowers the other day. And there's also some people who make a newsletter and they drop little letters and poems into our letterbox all along the street each week. So that's an activity that we're going to leave you with. Kindivism or kindness bombing. What can you do for your family, your friends, or the local neighborhood to just put a spring in their step for the day? Julianne, it has been so wonderful having you on Story Talks. Have you had fun?
I've had the best fun. Thank you so much, Tess, for having me.
Oh, and thank you, Susan, for lending us your hands and helping us communicate this wonderful story to everyone out there. And we will see you for the next Story Talks. Thank you.
Bye, thanks.